Welcome out to this video where I'm going to talk to you about contractor grading, one of the key concepts in running a lean project. Okay, so this concept of contractor grading can seem controversial, but it's actually not. This is actually taught in the CM Lean certification program at the AGC. That's where I first heard about it. I've experimented with it, and anytime I've seen it, it has worked absolute wonders. So let me go ahead and tell you a story. So I was working on a project with an awesome team on a research laboratory. This was a $100 million project. It's probably somewhere around, it would, in today's money, 140, something like that. Really cool project that tied into an existing building and another existing building. So I went to do the CM Lean certification and learned about this contractor grading concept. And I called it Jason's contractor grading at the time, but the bottom line was, so I listed the trades on an Excel sheet and then also listed criteria like, does the trade partner keep their areas clean, right? Do they have to be reminded? Are they to meetings and huddles on time, right? Are they correcting their punch list? Are they doing their weekly safety reports? Non-subjective, I'm even gonna write this down. This is non-subjective, meaning it's not, does the superintendent like the contractor or not? It's real data, right? And so I would create scoring criteria for each of these that would tally, right, throughout these different categories, and then it would give the contractor a score. And when we first started, I think the first contractor was like an A, and then it was a C, C, D, D, and a couple of Fs, right? So the scoring wasn't very good for the operations that we wanted on our project site. And you might think, Jason, this is pretty harsh. I'm talking like these are basic things like, are you cleaning? Are you keeping up with your punch list? Are you showing up to meetings on time? Are you doing your required safety paperwork? Anything, oh, this is a good one. Anything that annoys you, that's hard for you to manage, that is required, that is crucial for your operational stability is what I would put on this grading sheet, non-subjective, real data. And when I first started doing it, we had some horrible scores. It was anywhere from a half to 3/4 of the trades. We had really, really low scores, okay? So this on my weekly email, so if you look at my email for the trades, I would say, you know, here's my distribution list, right? And then I would say, hey team, here attached is the schedule, here are some updates, and you know, these are some milestones we're heading towards, and then I would have this section where I would post this picture, right, of the grading. And the people on this list, like everybody was on it. All of the trade partners, all of the managers, owners of the companies, everybody that was a part of the project, all of the stakeholders, even the designers saw their grading criteria. So when this first happened, and people started getting these grades, I said, all right, you've got about 4 weeks and I'm gonna start distributing it to everybody. When I started, it was just to them. When that, they're like, okay. Once I started distributing it, then they were like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Jason, what are you doing, right? And I even had one lady, the CEO of a company, like literally drive down from Phoenix, we were in Tucson at the time, and like almost threatened to beat me up. And she's like, Jason, what's going on with my score? What do I have to do to get it better? I'm like, these things right here. You gotta clean, show up to meetings on time, you know, submit your safety paperwork. Well, why is that so hard? Why can't we just do it? I'm like, you can. Well, why isn't my foreman doing it? I don't know. Why don't you go talk to your foreman, right? And she burst out of that door and had whatever kind of conversation. And everything changed. Like that contractor started to perform right away. And these scores, literally, I'm not making this up, went something like this. We had mostly A's, mostly B's, and then the one F player rose to a C+. And that was about how we leveled out. But that project was clean, safe, organized. There's still, on this actual YouTube channel, the early videos, that was the project. And I also talk about contractor grading. But their grades rose. The site got more stable. And it was absolutely amazing because everybody could see as a group, know as a group, and act as a group, and they knew how everybody was performing and could see it and hold each other accountable. Inside the conference room, so in our conference room, we had TVs up here on the front, and people would look towards the front. On the left side of the room, I had a whiteboard where I would talk to things that were on the screen. But we also had this graphic. This was called the Circle of Trust. And I learned this from DPR, so I'll give them a shout out. What it was is it had this really neat quote and then this circle, right? And in this circle, it was the contractors that were like getting good grades and like helping each other perform. And if somebody wasn't in, we would have them out. It wasn't a petty thing or a punishment thing, but it was visual. And then I really started to gain traction with this when I put A players on the left and F players on the right. This score only rose when I did this. So this was a visual scoring system, just like you have a scoreboard with sports, right? And we scored all of the contractors, and they all rose to the occasion. It was remarkable. I no longer had to worry about foremen showing up. I no longer had to worry about how they were cleaning. I no longer had to worry about them filling out their safety paperwork. They were all being graded. Now, I know what everybody's thinking right now. They're thinking, Jason, this is disrespectful. This does not respect people. Okay, that's totally fine. Let's use a sports analogy. What if a sports team was like, no, I do not want my score on the scoreboard. That's disrespectful to us. Don't do that. Don't treat us like that. You'd be like, no, we're tracking your performance. Like, this is a game. We have to see the score. Okay, right? If you said, I don't want people to notice that I have a bad score. Well, why not? Aren't we attempting to improve? What if a Navy SEAL team said to their instructor, I don't want you calling me out. I don't want you to see if I'm not doing well. I don't want you to coach me and help me to get better. That's not any of your business, right? It wouldn't happen, right? It shouldn't happen in construction either. So when people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to offend my trades, or I don't want to disrespect people, or I don't want to measure, or I don't want to call somebody out if they're doing poorly, ask yourself, would those thoughts ever fly on a professional Olympic team, sports team, Navy SEALs, anywhere, or even an airline or a doctor's office? No. You want to know the data, you want to see the data, you want to see where we're failing, right? And you want to be able to hold people accountable. We want to be friendly in a family-like environment on our project sites, but we have to understand that you do not become family or friends by sympathy voting bad behavior. You become family and friends when you truly connect and when you hold each other accountable. So transparency, accountability, these are lean concepts. So if you are transparent and lean, you will never, ever, ever have a problem with transparency, grading, the ability to see problems, and the ability to coach and to improve together. So if you do the contractor grading, your project will improve. Your project will be blessed. Your project will head in a positive and stable direction. And if you have any questions about this, please let us know. We do consulting and coaching for project teams and companies all the time to help them implement these systems, which will literally change your outcomes very, very quickly on a project site. I'm telling you, you implement this for about 6 weeks, you're going to see massive differences. And I've even seen contractors where they're like, hey, let the trades grade us for 6 weeks, get them used to it, allow the GC to rise to the occasion, and then we will all grade each other and rise together. If you ever need help, let us know. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.